So we have a lot of questions from people. So I would request everybody to raise your hand. There is a button on Zoom whereby you can raise your hand and ask the question. But I would request you to not to ask the particular question related with your own account, because that for that Mr. Harith would require to see the documents, the case details, and that's not possible here. So I would request everybody to stick with the generic question that he can answer to you.
The question is in section 2.1.3, will it not be applicable to CC accounts and not to the term loan account? In bracket, she has written TL, where principal has to be paid as per repayment schedule.
No, it will not. It will not apply to the CC account for the simple reason that for CC account, it is the criteria is different, right? It is only applicable to the term loan account.
Okay, there is one more question from Rushabh Shah. He want to ask, please guide us about MSME code in case of delayed payment for more than 45 days. So
Yes.
maybe he wants to understand the process or something like that.
Yes, the MSME code is really a helpful tool for recovery of money for the MSME units. Unfortunately, the forum which operates this particular code is not a forum which has ever been used for judicial proceedings. The forum is District Industries Center. You can't expect District Industries Center to efficiently discharge functions of a quasi-judicial body. So that's the problem over there. But it can be utilized or it can be used profitably by the MSME units if they take recourse to it. Why not many people take recourse to it is because of the forum which is mandated to operate it.
Okay, I have one question. Since the government has announced these packages and it also includes the MSME segment. So what is your feedback on that? How many entrepreneurs are going for these packages or loan moratorium and other kind of things? What is your experience?
My experience on the ground is not encouraging, even though we heard the SBI chairman on 4th of June declare that, okay, within a day we have sanctioned 2,300 crore rupees under the 20% credit guarantee scheme, right? We heard them saying that. But on the ground, the MSMEs, the bankers are not really appreciative of it for two reasons. One is the bankers are bogged down in so many things. I mean, the 500 rupee Jandan account case, you see the bankers at rural places or sub-district places, they could not even handle the queues outside their branches for distributing 500 rupees, which were sent to the account of all the ladies, Jandan accounts of the ladies by the government of India. So all these operational issues are preventing the bankers from really implementing this particular scheme.
And has anyone has approached the bank and what kind of treatment he has got in from the bank?
Oh yes, I mean specifically I would like to share experiences of a few MSME borrowers, medium range borrowers, I mean from 5 to 15 crore worth of borrowers, two of them, one with a PSU bank, the other with a cooperative bank. Both of them have been flatly refused even the 20% a collateral free extension in credit facility or the restructuring of the loan accounts, even though they qualify. And with respect to one personal loan account with a foreign bank in Mumbai, the foreign bank is insisting that unless March 2020 interest is paid, the account holder will not be eligible for the moratorium, which is completely wrong. But again, they are insisting. And why I have I have spoken about this particular personal loan account issue because almost all MSME owners resort to personal loans at the very first instance of facing liquidity crunch. The banker, because he does not want to revoke the new limits, what he says is, "Oh, come on, Mr. Gupta, you have a flat, you have a plot, it is valuable. I'll sanction you some amount against that." So the personal loans, the entrepreneurs, the borrowers take the money and pour it into the MSME units. So the personal loan space is also important.
सर अभी एक सवाल है सुरेश सारडा जी का, वो जानना चाहते हैं कि कैन वी आस्क द बैंक टू रिक्रेडिट आवर EMI डिडक्टेड इन अप्रैल बिफोर अप्लाइंग फॉर द मोरेटोरियम. अच्छा सवाल है ये.
बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं आप.
इसका क्या कुछ प्रोसीजर है? इसका कुछ प्रोसीजर है टिपिकल?
हाँ, आपको सारडा जी आपको लिखना है बैंक को कि इस डेट को आपने मेरे अकाउंट के अंदर EMI क्लियर किया था, रिकवर किया था, और मैं मोरेटोरियम ले रहा हूं, वो अमाउंट आप प्लीज रिक्रेडिट कर दीजिए.
There is a question from Ritesh Gulrajani. Ritesh ji, can you please unmute yourself?
I can hear me.
Yeah.
I had a question in terms of, sir, if you can help us out. If you read across countries and what are the major differences in terms of an equivalent MSME Act in advanced countries like US and Europe, where when we talk to a lot of suppliers, I'm from the travel industry, they seem to be having a lot of support from the governments. But here, we are treated as third-class citizens. So what are the major differences in case you compare different economies, if you have gone through it?
There are many major differences, but the point which you brought up, Ritesh, refers to specific help and assistance to MSME units by the government after the COVID, right? So all the advanced economies have been very generous. They have been providing 75% assistance as far as the payroll is concerned. They are even bearing interest for the period of the lockdown. So for the period of the lockdown, MSME owner does not have to pay interest. That interest is being borne by the government. So a lot of things are there. But again, our government has made a choice, whether good or bad. That's not an issue for discussion over here. But one thing, the bottom line is our government has left the MSME sector high and dry, especially travel, tourism, and hospitality.
There is a question from CA Satish Kasliwal. So, sir, can you please unmute yourself and pose your question? Hello. I think he's not.
आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ, आ रही है.
Yes,
Yeah.
There is one account, borrower account is classified as NPA in 2017, March 2017. He has paid all the irregularities in February 2020. But due to IRAC norms, the account cannot be classified directly as standard asset because it was a D1 asset. It can be upgraded to one category above. So it cannot be directly classified as standard assets. So whether due to that, even though he has cleared all the overdues, he can take benefit of 20% credit guarantee as announced by government.
Yes, he can. Number one, he can, and he is eligible for that, for the simple reason that his account has now been upgraded and he has already repaid all his outstandings. So now I don't think even as per IRAC norms there is any hurdle for you as a banker to upgrade that particular account. So you can, Satish sir, you can take this issue offline also once this discussion gets over. I think this borrower needs help and we must help. And I appreciate that you are helping him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because he has been a chairman of a cooperative bank.
Oh, okay, good. One more question from Suresh Sarda. He's saying that the bank is not accepting our request. So, what course of action can be taken as the request to recredit EMI amount has been already debited from the account? So what he can do?
Two things which are available, Sardaji. First is write a letter to Reserve Bank of India grievance cell, and second, write to the Ombudsman. Because it is a personal loan, because the amount involved may be small, I'm assuming that it will be in some lakhs of rupees. I would not advise you to knock on the doors of the High Court. Because jitna installment baki hai, utne paise vakil ko de doge. So that would not be advisable.
Okay. One more question is from Girish Naravne. He wants to know, can you cite case laws where the courts have accepted the 90 days from the end of the quarter in which the interest was payable, and also extension of the classification to 180 days after 2019?
I would request him to send me a mail. Along with the mail, I'll annex those case laws and mail it to him.
Oh, that would be great. or they can mail us to foundation@moneylife.in and then we'll forward it to you.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
There is another question from Roshan Keval Ramani. His question is, if any company declares itself as insolvent, does it have to deposit any amount in court while filing case or during course of the hearing? The bank loan documents are under SARFAESI Act.
This particular question involves two different enactments. So unless we peruse the documents, it would be unwise of me to reply.
I mean, as I said, that for a particular case, you need to study the documents. You can't give a generic answer for a particular case.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the reason. Okay. Anyone else has any question?
We have a lot of comments to say that this has been an excellent session and very useful to everybody.
Yes, and one more thing, that we'll be uploading this video of the entire session and the presentation of Mr. Harith on our YouTube channel, that is youtube.com/moneylifetv. So in case you miss some slides or you want to check the slides again, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch it again.
And finally, I would say if any of the participants have any of the questions, specific question, please mail to Money Life India. They would forward me and I'll ensure that your query gets solved and you get what you want.
Yes, I'm just sharing our email ID.
Please do that.
Yes, everybody can just check our email ID and they can send it to us. They can email to us. I think one more question is there from Sagar. He's just asking, NPA time clock starts from payment due date or from the date when the grace period expires?
Again, good question, Sagar. Grace period, if it is mentioned in your sanction letter or your facility agreement, then it would start from the end of the grace period. But if it is not mentioned, then on the next day of application of interest.
Okay.
There is a question from somebody named Superstar. So can you...
Can you please pose
can you please unmute yourself and pose your question?
I have unmuted.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, my name is Manavendra Gokhale. It happens to be the name given on my laptop by my system administrator. So nothing Amitabh Bachchan about it, no problems. Thank you so much for a lovely session. There are two specific instances.
Please.
One is when the person is not able to service the bank interest is one part of it. But when it comes to utilities, bank use that as an excuse for not helping the person out, point number one, and ask him to go into a secondary round of borrowing. This is keeping in mind the NBFC to NBFC jumps, which people do, going to ultimately a lock-in of all his personal properties and otherwise. Second, I've had a client where I've already taken a letter from a DIC, and as you rightly said, the bankers care two hoots about it. They just say that DIC is not applicable to us. They can write to anyone. You may have to go to the government people, which means the Mantralaya, which makes it a different situation. And third, the cooperative banks simply don't follow the RBI norms. So, which is the alternative section under which, and if you write directly to RBI, the bankers and the branch managers take a very personal approach towards it and start SARFAESI and other proceedings in order to stress the person out. These are slightly subjective matters, though not 100%. And thank you so much for your advice.
Oh, yes. My suggestion would be twofold. One is you need to keep on following whatever you have done. You have already done half the work. The remaining half of the work requires you to approach the Honorable High Court. There you'll have your remedy.
Okay, great. So, Advocate Manoj Harith, as usual, fantastic session once again. Thanks a lot for joining us on this webinar. Thank you everybody for joining us. You can watch this video of on our YouTube channel, that is youtube.com/moneylivetv.com. Thanks again and good night.
Thank you everyone. Bye.
Thank you.